guys, and welcome back to my channel. I have gotten a request for this video so many times, so I am finally filming it, and this whole video is about how to use public transportation in Chicago. If you are new to my channel, be sure to hit that big red subscribe button. I post a video every 3 days, but let's go ahead and jump into it, and I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about riding the L in the city. So the Chicago train is called the CTA, which stands for the Chicago Transit Authority. The Chicago Transit Authority also runs the bus system, which, don't be afraid, the bus system is just as easy to use as the trains. The train is also commonly referred to as the L, and that stands for elevated. They'll use like the letter L when they talk about it, but it's called the elevated because it's the only train system in the United States that runs above ground. All other like subways and everything typically are below ground. There's a couple lines in the city that are below ground, but for the most part, everything is above, which is really cool. The L was originally built in 1833, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me that this system has been around that long, but it is super cool and so convenient for people living in Chicago. I personally do not have a car. I take the train and the buses everywhere. I'll do the occasional Uber, but I absolutely love being able to get around the city on public transit. So you have the red, yellow, orange, green, blue, pink, and brown lines. The train is great because you can access both airports. So it goes both blue line to the O'Hare Airport and the orange line will take you straight to Midway. Both the blue line and the red line run 24 hours, and then all of the other trains have varying times based on what day of the week it is, but typically they run from 4 a.m. until 1:30 a.m. the next day. So it's really just like between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. that your trains might not be running, but you can always check online and see what times your specific train lines aren't going. The trains also take you to both baseball fields, and so you can take the train down to the White Sox field or take it up to Wrigleyville to go catch the Cubs. The train costs $2.50 per ride, but they recently changed it, and now if you are doing a transfer in a 2-hour window, it is free. This is really great because if you're doing something like going and grabbing groceries or going and grabbing lunch with a friend really quick, super convenient and so cost effective. The only time it costs more than $2.50 to ride the train is if you get on at the airport, and then it's $5, but that is so much cheaper than getting an Uber or something from the airport, where I've seen prices go as high as $200 to Uber from O'Hare to downtown. $5 will get you right into the heart of the city, and you can get into the loop and hop on any of the other train lines to get you anywhere. Another great thing about it is you can have your physical Venture card, but you can also set it up into your Apple Pay, so you can just use your phone to get on the trains. This is super handy for people who lose their Venture card all the time. I also really like it because you can use your Venture card to let your friends on as well. So when I have friends visiting from out of town, I just use my same card and swipe it twice, and then they can go on and I can as well, and we don't have to worry about them getting a pass or anything to use the CTA for the weekend. If you're wanting to do a monthly unlimited pass, they do have them for $75, which is really great if you use the trains every single day to get to work. I use the trains a ton, but not really enough to make it $75 worth, so I just have my card on auto roll. So anytime my account dips under $20, it adds another $20 into it, so I never run out of money in my Venture account, and I can always just get on the trains right away. But it does turn out to be a little bit cheaper for me than doing the $75 a month. If you're debating bringing a car into the city or doing the monthly unlimited, parking in the city is usually $200 to $300 a month for buildings, and so having it just be $75 to get you anywhere is a really good deal. Due to the pandemic, they are still requiring masks on the trains and buses for everyone, regardless of vaccination status. Even when the mask mandate was taken away from Chicago, you still had to wear your mask on the train. So please be polite to the other people around you and mask up. When on the trains, I tell this to everybody, but be aware of your surroundings. I've never run into a situation on the train, but you always want to make sure you know who is around you and what's going on. I recommend if you're listening to something when you're on the train, use just one AirPod and leave your other ear open so that way you can listen to your surroundings and make sure you know what's going on around you. Eating isn't allowed on the trains. You see it happen sometimes, but I highly recommend you do not eat on the trains. Number one, because it's just kind of rude to the people around you, and number two, it's kind of gross. So I don't recommend eating anything while riding on the trains. There's also a couple of apps I recommend you use. You can use your Apple Maps or your Google Maps to figure out transit lines. They both show them, which is really convenient. But also you can get the Transit Stop app, and this one is the best because it shows you the live timings of all of the trains and buses coming your way. This is super nice, so that way when you're at home, you can see when the next train is, that way you can leave your apartment on time to get to the stop, so A, you don't miss your train, and B, you're not standing outside in the freezing cold waiting for it. Like I mentioned, your Venture card will get you onto both buses and trains. Don't be afraid of riding the buses. I've had so many clients who have moved to the city who don't ride the buses for the longest time because they think it's intimidating. The buses are just as easy as riding the trains, and it is so much cheaper than taking an Uber. So often, it is much faster for you to ride the trains or buses than it is for you to drive in the city, especially when there's crazy traffic. I love, love, love the CTA. I use it almost every single day, and it is just so convenient to be able to get around the city. It's one of my favorite parts about living in Chicago is that I don't need to have a car and I can hop on the public transit to get just about anywhere. Also, the CTA does holiday trains and buses, which is just like my favorite thing ever during the month of December. So if you're ever in the city for the holidays, be sure to keep an eye out for them because it is just the cutest thing ever, and they literally have Santa popping out and waving. You gotta see it. All right, guys, that was my quick video on how to use the public transit here in Chicago. I hope this helped. I promise you it is not as intimidating as you think it is. Once you get the hang of it, it is so, so, so easy and convenient, and it can save you so much money and time. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below and let me know if you have any tips and tricks for people who are riding the CTA for the first time. And as always, hit that big red subscribe button. I post 3 videos a week and I'd love for you to follow along. I gotta go catch my train now, but I'll see you next time.